Thank you everybody and welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. And tonight we are having our 193rd session with another educator from different part of the world. And our guest is from Turkey and she is a lecturer at Professional Development Unit Coordinator at İstanbul Kent University, Merve Oflaz. And when she comes we are going to start our live session with her. She's here and she sent me a request to join the live. And I'm sure that it's going to be a very fruitful session. I'm just waiting for her to join. Sometimes it takes a little bit time to join the session. Let me look at again. Yes, I've accepted her invitation one more time. Let me look. Maybe we'll try again here. Thank you Turgut Hocam. Oh, hello. Oh, Naif Hocam. Hello. Check again. I sent you a request again. Okay. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, finally. It takes time a
Finally.
little bit. Yes, hocam. Okay. So it's great to see you, Hojam, here, and I would like to say thank you very much for being with us here tonight and accepting my invitation for Teacher Talks. It's great honor to have you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great privilege for me as well.
Wonderful. So I know we are all very busy. So if you're ready, can we start?
Yes, yes, sure. Hello, everyone.
Wonderful.
I saw some of you and I said hello. I see my colleagues and some of my students as well,
Yeah,
which is great.
they are all here. Thank you. Thank you all of them for being with us here tonight. Okay, Hojam, I know about you, but maybe our audiences would like to know about you. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Sure, sure. Thank you very much. I'm Merve Oflaz, but not the Merve Oflaz in Survivor. When I visit some school for trainings or parent seminars, when people hear my name, they think that, oh, this is Survivor Merve Oflaz. Of course, I'm not. So currently, I'm working at Istanbul Kent University, as you mentioned at the beginning of the live session. I work as a lecturer and the professional development unit coordinator there. I am also a PhD candidate trying to finish my thesis at Yeditepe
Wonderful.
University. Thank you. It's curriculum and instruction. And also doing some freelance training. And of course, a lifelong learner. I
Wow.
sometimes review edtech materials and course book materials for different publishers. And I also
Wonderful.
take the role of jury in some international competitions related with education as well.
Oh, great, great, Hojam. Thank you. We are all, as you mentioned that, we are all lifelong learners, I think, as teachers.
That's why
And
we are
that,
here.
yeah, that's why, exactly. Thank you very much for this, the great explanation about yourself, Hojam. Okay, so my next question is, what was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
Yeah, actually, there are a lot of turning points in my education as I am not a very young lady. But when
You
I
are
think
young, Hojam.
when I think about my whole career, I remember my time at university. Just before I started university, I had some hesitations because I was also trying to enter the art academy.
Oh,
I don't want to say I am talented, but I was really interested in becoming an artist, let's say. I had nearly 13 art exhibitions in high school, but
wow.
teaching was always in my mind. Even when I was a kid, I was playing with my
Yes,
friends in our neighborhood, and I was always taking the teacher role. It's one of the children's games, being the teacher and being the students in the classroom. And then
exactly.
I took the exam of the academy, and at the same time, I took the university exam.
Uh-huh.
But after I passed the first art exam, I couldn't manage the last one, actually. It was instead. And that's why I found myself in teaching English department at Marmara University, which I really wanted, actually. And I think that was the first turning point in
Of
my
you.
education career.
That's really nice, and it's thank you for sharing that turning point with us. We all actually, I was planning to, to study international relationships, but and then I changed my mind and I became an English
Yes,
language teacher.
Volkan Hocam, you know what? I believe that everything happens for a reason. So
Definitely.
I am happy to be here, and I'm sure you
Exactly.
are happy with your career as well.
Of course, of course, of course. I have no regret. I have no regret. I'm really happy to being a teacher.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hocam. Would you like to add another, the turning point, or can I move another
Yeah,
question?
another turning point for the other questions, maybe I will all mention that. But another turning point in my career is, meeting the British Council people and British Council trainers and British
Yes.
Council trainings because they made a big change in my
Uh-huh.
career, my teaching, and they were effective, in becoming a teacher trainer as well. Also, I'd like to mention about ITI in Istanbul.
Yes,
That's another great institution where all the teachers, put on lots of stuff on their careers. So there are
exactly.
lots of turning points, but the very first one was that, like I
That
mentioned.
was it. Okay, thank you very much for sharing, Merve Hocam. And I know you have been teaching for a long time. You just mentioned it, and I'm sure that during this time you have tried, different techniques, different strategies, and I'm sure that you also tried different methodologies in your lessons, and probably you have a philosophy of teaching. So, what is your philosophy of teaching?
Yeah, this question is like a question in a job interview, I guess.
No, this is
You
not a job interview, by the way.
Yeah, of course, I don't want to make people feel bored while talking about the philosophies. There are lots of philosophies we can follow and we can accept. But I would like to talk about my own philosophy,
Exactly.
which I call the art of controlled class.
Ah,
Uh,
I
so,
see.
in this philosophy, I try to embrace the unpredictability of my classroom because it's when it comes to real life, you never know what is going to happen, what is going to happen in the
Exactly.
next minute. So embracing this unpredictability in teaching is a very important stage. And I always try to encourage my students to learn through a mix of different kinds of activities. And I always use music in my lesson throughout the teaching process
Yes.
and try to make learning fun so students don't feel like learning. They are actually learning, but they are having fun.
Yeah, that's all we try actually to do it in our lessons probably, especially when we work, the work with the young learners especially. Maybe it works with the adults, but most of them when we do that kind of music stuff, I think with them
Exactly.
having fun, yeah, they all love it too. Because I try to use that way also in my lessons.
Actually,
Okay.
in the first 13 years of my career, I taught English to primary school, secondary school, and high school students. And around 2011, I guess, I started to work at the prep schools of the universities. I also became a teacher trainer afterwards. Right now, I'm working with young adults, but sometimes teachers are asking me, Hocam, is it difficult after working at primary school? I think, no, it's not difficult. Because, even young adults are like young learners from time to time when it comes to learning a foreign language. So it's not that difficult, I can say
I
that.
see. That wonderful to hear, Rita Jam. And so maybe other teachers, if they want to change their career from young learners to adults, maybe they can think about it.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and as an educators, we have a lot of stories, in our career. And sometimes we have bad stories, sometimes we have good stories, and sometimes we have failed ones, and sometimes we have, of course, success stories. So can you tell us, Hocam, one or maybe two success stories of yours, something inspirational? But if you want to talk about the failed ones, we can also listen if you like to talk about it.
Yeah, the failed one was about the art academy, as I mentioned. But
Yeah,
like
you
I
mentioned
said
it.
before, I always believe that everything happens for a reason. And if I want to talk about something inspirational, I can talk about the British Council projects I have been involved in.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
so the very first time I found myself in the British Council was the library in Beyoğlu back in 1990s. But after a while, they stopped face-to-face things, and the library was closed, unfortunately. Those times I was just a high school student trying to
Uh-huh.
improve English, and one of my foreign teachers said that, oh, look, there is this library, you can become a member and have lots of listening activities while listening to cassettes actually. Maybe some Z generations won't understand what cassettes are, but we were listening to cassettes there to improve our listening. There were also VHS video cassettes as well. Of course, when I became a teacher after years, when I started my career first, it was back in 1998.
Uh-huh.
There were conferences online in those years. There was really no internet for daily life. So the first thing I did was to take some trainings from the British Council and certify my teaching. After years, I was chosen for a British Council championship to become the teacher trainer in the regional areas.
Oh, very
Me
nice.
and one of my other colleagues, Özge Karaoğlu, she's now at Şişli College. We were chosen to be responsible from the Marmara region. And we started this project by training the Ministry of Education teachers actually for free.
For
This
free. Oh, I
series
see.
of, series of trainings, which was really successful. Afterwards, I was selected for another project, again by British Council, called British Literature Project, and we
Very
created
nice.
activity for the translated Turkish children's stories. It was back in
Very interesting.
2012, but these materials are still accessible online. So if any of my colleagues want to have them, they can write British Council stories for schools. I was not the only one there. I had also Özge Karaoğlu and Aylin Köyalan. We three of us made the project actually. So I enjoyed it a lot, and that is one of my success stories, I believe, because it was an international one, and also it was a free one for the teachers who volunteered. This was the most important part, actually.
That's really nice and really inspirational stories. Are there any other projects that other maybe teachers can join, or do you suggest the other teachers
Yeah,
to participate that
of
kind of projects?
in today's education life, there are lots of opportunities because everything is online now. National ones, international ones. I think if teachers follow the correct people on social media and on LinkedIn as well, they can, find the project for themselves. There are lots. I mean, including British Council, of course, but not only British Council. There are many. You can even find partners for your projects for your school. Not
I see.
only private schools, also Ministry of Education schools, national schools.
They can
There are
find it.
internet projects, other kind of projects. So I think we are luckier right now. We weren't in the past, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, Hocam. Thank you very much, Merve Hocam. In our lessons, we try a lot of different activities, okay, to teach something to our students or to get to know them, okay. But I'm sure that you have also some activities that you like to use in your classes. Can you tell us maybe one or two activities that you like to use for your classes? Something maybe if you have secret activities you would like to share with
They
us.
are not secret because there are millions of activities on, they are one click away on
Uh-huh.
Pinterest, on Instagram, we can find them. But one of my favorite is a kind of musical chair activity. But
Very
chair
nice.
one, you play some music and you ask the students to stand up, walk around, or you can tell them walk around as if they are happy, walk around as if they are sad. You can change that. And when you stop the music, they stop and find one person or two people to talk to. And meanwhile, you show them some questions, of course, to talk about. And then when the music starts again, they walk and they wander around the class, they stop, and this continues like that. It can be used as a warm-up, as a filler, to practice something. It can be used in any part of the lesson. This is one of my favorite activities. Another kind of activity I can suggest is using Padlet, because Padlet gives a lot of
Yeah, I love it.
opportunities to the teachers where all the students can communicate and collaborate, because sometimes students can be anxious to talk, shy. They can be shy to talk in front of everybody. So to involve those students as well, this kind of platforms gives a chance to the teacher to make the class join in. at the same time.
I see. That's really nice activity that we can try, or other teachers can try it. I'm sure that the students, that have fun when you try, do this activity in the classrooms. I'm sure that they're having fun
Yeah,
there to do it.
yeah.
Okay. So do you have another activity that you want to share, or can I go another
Yeah,
question?
we can continue. There are like
Okay. All right. All right. Tamam hocam. Okay, for the students learning a new language, sometimes it's really challenging. They feel really, sometimes they face very difficult situations about learning a new language. And I'm sure you have, as an experienced teacher, I'm sure that you had a lot of chances to observe the students. Can you tell us the challenges of students about learning a new language? Maybe one or two challenges enough.
actually this can change from age to age. In our country, most institutions, nearly all institutions, especially if they are the private ones, they want the teachers, they want the instructors to talk in English all the time in the
Yeah,
classroom. Of course, some teachers can think that, okay, of course, this is the right way. Why not? You are talking about why are you talking about this? But I think this is related with the age group we are teaching. If we are teaching young learners or very young learners, of course, talking in English all the time is the first thing we should do as they learn holistically, and their cognitive process is not hasn't started yet. But if we are talking about adults and young adults,
yes,
like the institution I'm working, prep class, I mean, it's a bit, it's very idealistic to talk in English all the time. Yes, we do that because our administrators want that, but adult brain does not learn like that. Adult brain wants to compare the first language, the mother tongue, with
oh, I
the
see.
second language or the foreign language we are learning. That is what it wants, actually. But we can't do it. So we are in a big challenge. Maybe at the break time you can talk in Turkish, or you can find ways to explain what the grammar topic is, etc. But I think this is one of the big challenges. Taking the age factor into consideration is important.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hojam. That's an important case you mentioned here. Thank you very much. Then another question is about the mental. The students and the teachers, sometimes they feel different in the classrooms or at schools. Okay, and sometimes we don't, the feel the same way, or we don't feel good every time. Sometimes we don't feel, the bad. Sometimes we don't feel good, as I said, or sometimes excited, or sometimes bored, or other feelings that we have. When we think
Mhm.
about as a mentally, the mental health is another, the important situations for both actually students and the teachers. As an experienced one, how important is this mental health for their school life?
Yeah, of course, it's very important. Sometimes more important than physical health, because then they are both connected, aren't they? And if you
Definitely, yeah,
are
I
well,
agree with you.
yeah, if your mental health is okay, it's also affecting your physical health. And if it is not okay, it's again affecting your physical health. So that's why I think that it's one of the most important things. That was always important, actually. But in recent years, it became a buzzword, mental health, all those resilience
Yeah,
terminology, patience, etc., well-being. These terms have become buzzwords in
sorry.
recent years.
Yeah,
Uh, Estağfurullah. So that's why they are important, I guess, because I believe that everything is like a domino effect.
uh-huh.
When the teacher is enthusiastic in class, when his or her mental health is okay, I'm sure that teacher is affecting his or her class in a very positive way, right? If
Yeah,
it's vice versa, it happens vice versa. So that's why I believe like that. By the way,
I see.
have a look at the comments as well. Thank you for your comments.
Yeah,
People say, Turgut Hocam, he says we can't stop people talking in their first language, mother tongue. He
yeah,
is
you're
right.
right.
Another colleague mentions about AI, using AI. Azra Hocam, thank you very
Yeah,
much for your comments.
we will.
You are right.
You're right, exactly. She's right. She's asking that questions. She's always here and asking questions. Thank you, Azra. You're always with us and other audiences also. Thank you very much to all of you. All right. So thank you for the answer, Merve Hocam. Merve Hocam, you've been teaching for a long time, and I'm sure that you faced a lot of problems. The teaching a new language for students in Turkey. So
Mhm.
actually, you mentioned about the student side about learning a language, but this time I'm gonna ask you about the teacher side.
Mhm.
What difficulties that you face about teaching a new language for students, especially in Turkey?
Mm. Because I'm working at a higher education class, first I will start from there. In
Sure.
recent years, our classrooms became international. We have a lot of international students, which is actually a plus. While learning a foreign language, students can communicate, collaborate, in a real life atmosphere. They can practice the foreign language they are learning. But uh, on the other side, this can be a challenge both for the teacher and also the other students. We were
Uh-huh.
talking about the first language L1 a minute ago. So that can also become a negative thing from time to time because the teachers may not know the mother tongue of those students. So reaching those students can be difficult, especially if they are A1 students. And
I
if we
see.
talk about primary school, secondary school, and high school students in Turkey, I think educational systems keep changing very, I think they always keep changing. And when somebody new comes up, oh, the first thing they do, oh, let's change this, let's change that. So it's like two steps ahead and one step behind, and it's going back and going forward all the time, which is not good for the students and also for the teachers.
I see.
Luckily, as foreign language teachers, we are really adaptable. We adapt ourselves very quickly, but of course,
Definitely.
this is challenging. But the students cannot, of course. Uh, so this is one of the biggest challenge we are having in Turkey, I guess.
I can
Changes, changes,
understand.
changes.
Changes, yeah, you're right. I totally
No
agree with you.
consistency, actually. Yeah.
You're right. Thank you. Thank you, Merve Hocam. All right. We were talking about the learning a new language and teaching a new language for our students. We talked about it. And when we sometimes when we try to teach, or when we try the teaching a new grammar topic, or I don't know, some maybe reading or some vocabulary to our students, sometimes they cannot understand, all right, or then maybe they face difficulties to understand the topic, and after
Mhm.
that they come to us and ask for more help, extra help, and about the topic, all right, or the vocabulary or whatever we teach there. And when you think about it, how do you help your students when they need extra help
Mhm.
about the topics that they don't understand? Or
Yeah,
in other words, what can you suggest to the teachers when they face this situation?
yeah, sure. I think we can use some platforms, online platforms, for the sake of our teaching. Uh, Padlet is one of my favorite. Actually, the very first master program I finished was
Uh-huh.
teaching English. The second MA I finished was curriculum and instruction, and my thesis was related to Padlet.
I
Of
see.
course, like all the other applications, throughout years, it updated itself. And I guess that platform gives a lot of opportunities to the teachers to keep in touch with the students, not only in class, but also outside class. They can create a wall there and put their activities they did in the classroom, put their notes they shared in the classroom. Also suggest some online apps and online websites where students can go and practice or improve their English from time to time. Other than that, being accessible is important as teachers.
Yes,
Unfortunately, our job does not finish after we leave the school. Unfortunately, it never ends, never ending job. Being accessible is important, but of course, while being accessible, we must maintain our well-being. We must, care about
definitely.
our
Of
well-being as
course.
well. Maybe giving a time, specific time for the students to keep in touch with you, and during that specific time, they can, write to you an email or a message on that Padlet I mentioned. Other than that, in higher education classrooms, we have office hours. I don't know if other schools have this or not, but in the office hours, students can come and visit us to ask their questions. We really want them to come and visit us to practice their English, but mostly don't actually. They don't have time, maybe, I don't know. Maybe those kind of hours can be helpful for the other age groups as well.
Exactly. I see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions, Merve Hocam. They're really useful and that we can apply for the students. Thank you. All right. Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Hocam. And so what I'm gonna ask you again, we were talking about the language in education, and we talk about the students, the problem that they face, and the teachers, the problem that they faced while they're teaching the language to the students. And when I asked the other teachers or whoever I see, when I ask them, do you have any idea to change the system or something like that, they all have an idea. So I'm sure that you also have an idea or maybe suggestions about the system. So when you think about this, if you had a chance to change one thing about education in Turkey or language education, also you can talk about it in Turkey, what would you change?
Yeah. Okay, we were just talking about the negative side of it. Things keep changing a lot. That was a negative thing, but also we must focus on the positive ones, right?
Of
So in recent years,
of course.
there have been good changes as well. But if I had a chance, I would focus on integrating more hands-on practical learning.
I
So
see.
students can experience in real life atmosphere, in real life like atmosphere, because we want them to be ready for the real world and real world challenges. So this would be really well for the teachers and students as well.
I see. All right. Thank you very much, Ajam. Thank you for the idea about about it. Okay. You know, for most of the people, not only for our job being a teacher, but when you think about it, for other jobs, also people when they go to work, they look for some motivation. Okay. They need to find something to go to work. All right, or they they need to motivate themselves to do these things. Okay, when you think about this, for example, we are teachers and we go to school every day. When you think about this, what motivates you to do this? What motivates you to being a teacher, or what motivates you to at your work to do it every day?
Yeah, actually, this is one of the questions I sometimes ask during my training sessions. And the very first answer is salary.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's a nice side salary. Yeah,
Of
you're right.
course, it motivates us, salary. I mean, we need it. Come on. But apart from that, of course, students. I mean, for me, it is the students. Because the classroom is the best place for me where I feel great to see the light in the students' eyes, to see that they are understanding, they are following you, and to see the change in time. This is
I
not happening
see.
in one day, of course, but after a while, when they improve themselves or when they graduate, they find you on social media here and there. And that is the greatest feeling in teacher motivation, I guess. But if we are looking for a daily motivation, I mean, this takes time. The thing I mentioned takes time. But what about the daily motivation? I think everybody has a different kind of motivation. Some people like coffee, some people like having a chat, some people like gossiping, some people like stationery. I love stationery. I have millions of, colored pencils and everything, post-its and stickers.
I do.
I mean, it's funny, but they motivate me. So my office desk is like a pinkish, you know. If you look at it, you can think that, oh, this is a child's desk. So it motivates me, and my students know that as well. And also, keeping in touch and sharing with colleagues is a very important factor. Because I'm talking about sharing experiences, or helping each other, supporting each other in terms of teaching. These are great motivators. And if you have a colleague like this, you are very lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they are, and I'm sure that actually when we do this, we need to really find some the motivational tools for ourselves to do it. If we lose the motivation, so then our job is really to make us very stressful, and that we don't want to do it, and we whenever we do this, our legs, they don't want to go that way. That's really
Exactly.
interesting. Exactly. Okay, thank you very much, Hojam. And uh, I'm gonna ask you another question about it. It's which is related to the technology, which is really important. And when I say technology, for all of us, probably it's not easy to follow all the latest improvements. It's not easy because when we say technology, a lot of things happen in seconds. For example, what we are talking here, and maybe a lot of things happen in the world about technological improvements. When you think about this in the education side, how do you follow these technological improvements? And when you do this, what do you do? What do you follow? And what can you suggest to the other teachers?
Actually, I just keep my Wi-Fi signal strong. I mean, there is nothing else to do. Actually, you don't have to do anything because it's everywhere. I mean, just open
Yes.
your eyes and open your ears. Be open to it. I mean, it's on social media, it's in daily life, it's in the conferences, it's in the school curriculum. So we cannot deny it. It's in our life and it's in teaching. But what
Uh-huh.
can you do to improve ourselves? How can we follow? Like I mentioned at the very beginning, following some accounts, some institutional accounts related with technology, educational technology, some conference pages, conference accounts, or following this kind of accounts like yours, actually, hearing things from different colleagues. These are very important because it helps us to improve ourselves. It helps us share. They are very effective in teaching, I guess.
I see. Thank you very much, Hojam. And I'm sure that you are very busy educator. You are doing a lot of things. You are participating in a lot of the workshops and giving workshops and sometimes webinars, or you are the doing a lot of projects. And my question is, what are you doing for your job right now? Are you doing anything special, and do you have any projects to tell us, or something maybe you can surprise us?
Yeah, I can mention about some. Right now, like I said, I am working at a university, school of foreign languages,
Yes.
teach English in different levels. Also responsible from training our staff, both Turkish prep and English prep schools, schools teachers, sorry. Those two teams, I'm responsible from them. We have different projects we are following in the school in terms of training. One of these is called with tip series. I presented a session about this in Metu last year. Here in this project, we are training ourselves, we are training each other. It's in rounds, so in each round there are a couple of sessions, including very short videos like 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes.
Oh, I see.
So these are all institutional. We are not sharing it publicly. And the topics of these videos are chosen according to the needs analysis we did at the very beginning of the academic year. And this year we are in season 2 of this series. And what else I can mention? There are some projects about to happen which may be surprising, but I cannot talk about them. Maybe
Don't then.
in another session we can talk about them. But this
Sure.
is something we are doing in my university right now. When I first started it, I thought nobody would be interested in it, and it was a bit difficult to, encourage my colleagues because it was their first time in a project like this. But then they gave a hand, and we are now doing it all together. And I'm very happy to see the training process under this project.
I
So
see. Okay,
thanks to
thank you.
all of these colleagues there.
It's a wonderful, wonderful project to do it, and thank you for sharing here with us, Hocam. Thank you very much. All right, so the people when they do their job or before start their job, they all have some role models in their mind because they see the other good models and they take them for themselves as a model, and they try to follow their steps
Yeah.
in their career or the things that they do. Or sometimes other people's, the inspire them or inspire us to do something. What about you? Do you have a role models, or who are your role models, Hocam? Or who inspires you to do something, if there anyone?
I think we all have role models, but the very first role model of mine is my mother, of course. She's
Ah,
my role model and greatest inspiration. She raised me alone, and I owe everything I am today to her strength, resilience, and unwavering support. I can say this. Her dedication and her love have shaped me into the person I am today.
I see.
But of course, there are some other people like my teachers and my tutors in teacher training courses. Some of them.
Wonderful.
So these people have been my role models as well.
Mhm. That's really nice, Hocam, that you share with us, and we all have. Thank you very much, Merve Hocam. And in our life we face some difficult situations, Hocam. When we face these difficult situations, sometimes we can handle it, sometimes we can't. When we can't handle them, we think on our own and we say, oh, I wish I could have a kind of superpower so I could easily fix it, or I could easily handle, or or cover the problem.
Mhm.
When you think about this superpower idea for your classroom, if you could have one to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help you?
Yeah, when you say superpower, the first thing pops up in my mind is flying, but I don't know how it would help me in teaching and in class. I think having copies of me as a teacher would be
Yeah,
great for each student, a special Merve Oflaz. You know, so this way,
very nice idea.
while I am, enjoying my coffee at home, versions of me would be with each of my students to support them
That's
outside
really
class
nice.
as well. This would be a nice one, I guess.
That's a nice superpower to use it for each student, one Merve Oflaz. Okay, so like this kind of individual teaching, like private teaching, like that's very
Yes,
nice, very nice. All right, so Merve Hocam, think that we finished the interview, and that you step outside from your home and find a lottery tickets that ending up winning $100 million. What would you do? Be honest.
I think the first thing I would do would to shout and scream with my teacher's voice.
Ah,
jump around, and then the first thing I would do with that as well. What would I do? I think, yeah, I would first fund some scholarships for my students or for the students in need. Because, when I was a student, I finished all high school years with supported scholarships. I am an ISTEC school graduate, actually. And I finished the school with scholarships of Ministry of Education. And also during my university years, I was supported by some foundations as well. It was great. If I wasn't supported, I wouldn't finish my schools. So I know how it is important in some students' lives. Some people don't have the opportunity to reach the education, the right education. So I think I would found something like that.
That's nice. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, hocam. Okay, so the time flies,
Yes.
And now I'm gonna ask you my last question. Are you ready, hocam?
Yes.
Okay. What is your motto?
Okay, my motto is short and sweet. Teaching is touching life. I always believe in teaching is touching lives.
Very good. Teaching is touching life. That's really nice. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Merve hocam. I've asked all my questions to you, hocam. So, before ending our live sessions, would you like to add anything else?
Thanks to you and to all the colleagues who joined this session. It was great. It was a great. It's my first live Instagram session, actually, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
Thank you for all the nice comments, and I'm looking forward to the questions if there are any.
Okay, so I think the Azra had a question. Azra asked you a question about AI. What do you think about using AI in the language classroom? Something like that. She asked there. Maybe if you want to say one or two sentences about it.
I think we should use AI in classroom, and we are already using it with some applications. Most of the applications we were already using, they now AI versions. Even the Padlet I mentioned, it has an AI page as well. So if as teacher wants to use technological devices or technological applications or AI in the classroom, I think that teacher shouldn't focus on many things at once. Focusing on one thing and trying to, learn it and making students use it would be very helpful, because sometimes we hear lots of things in this conference, in that webinar, and we are very enthusiastic. Oh, let me use this and that. But our students can be digital citizens, but those digital students are not, using the digital devices very easily in education. We must accept this. Yes, they may be born into a digital world, but come on, I mean, if we try to use all the things in one lesson in 1 week, that wouldn't help our teaching. So, like most of the other devices and applications, AI is also a tool, must be a tool. So not our aim, but a tool there. If it is helping you and your teaching, if it is practical, if it is saving time, use it. If not, just skip it.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Merve hocam, for the answer for the question. All right. So I think we don't have more questions. I just want to say one more time, I would like to say thank you very much, Merve hocam, for being with us, for your suggestions, for your ideas, and for your advice, of course, and especially for your precious time. You spent your time here with us. That was really nice and very meaningful for all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you again, for inviting me. It was a great pleasure and privilege. And I also appreciate what you have been doing. This is the 193rd, right?
Yeah, 193rd session.
This is a big success. So I really appreciate what you are doing. Each week you are meeting another person to, make people learn and share, which is great. So congrats to you too. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much, hocam. Thank you. And Merve Oflaz was with us tonight with Teacher Talks 1930 event, and we had a very fruitful session with her. And as you know that we are going to be here next week at the same time, on the same day, every Monday at 9 p.m. for Turkish time. And until the next time, please, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And until the next time, please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself too, Merve Hocam. And until the next time again, bye bye, everybody, and peace.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.